Hello everyone, tonight I'm going to be speaking about the evolution of human resource for my final project of HRM management in Lynn University. So first I'm going to start with my thesis, and my thesis is: would human resource be at its current position if the industrial and technological revolution didn't take place? So just to give a small background, the industrial revolution marked the conversion of economy from agriculture based to industry based. The modernization and increased means in communication gave way to the industrial setup, and a department specifically during the Industrial Revolution was set just to look into workers' wages because there were many issues relating to that. That took place, and that led to an emergence of personal management with some major tasks. So just going to my next slide, which is called 30 years. There is an absolutely outrageous advancement in the last 30 years. So 1990s we had the www that took place. We have open-ended source softwares, and it took such a great leap to technology, which of course influences HR in such a way that it leads us to where we are right now. Also, there are cell phone innovations, which allowed basically instant connection between two people. So, for example, if I want to sell you something, before it was extremely more difficult. It had to be physical. While nowadays you can just go like to a massive uh, database, which you can get potential customers, and then you can just call them and say, "Hey, I'm selling this product. Are you interested?" So it really helps for the human resource management in both segues, in which the customer to the employee, basically the employee selling and talking to his customer, and also the supervisor to its employee. And I'll talk more about that in a further slide. So going to my next slide, which is called evolution of human resource management. So as I talked before, there was a major breakthrough, which was the Industrial Revolution. And the Industrial Revolution, as I said before, allowed many developments in this segment. And again, the 1990s allowed many management in HR to operate more efficiently, and also like the WWWs that I just talked about. Technology advancements were absolutely insane that decade, and also allowed the strategic human resource management approach. And basically what it talks about is, how can I differ myself from my competitors? So how can I be better at human resource management and information systems than my competitors? Because that's a major game changer when you're talking about monopolies and like these companies that, like, sometimes the very difference that it makes is a slight change. So now going to my first slide of my body, it's called Frederick W. Taylor. And basically Frederick W. Taylor, it's a management theory. It's also called the classical management theory. I saw it through my sources, and it basically emphasizes efficiency, somewhat like Max Weber's theory. But according to Frederick Taylor, rather than scolding your employees for every single minor mistake that they do, the employee should actually reward workers for increased productivity. So inside workers training, maintaining wage uniformity, focusing on better productivity. That's what it's all about. Talking about the Hawthorne studies now. So it was conducted by Alton Mayo and Fritz Rothsberger. I believe I pronounced that incorrectly. But basically what happened is that the observations and findings of Hawthorne experiment shifted the focus of human resource from increasing workers' productivity to increasing workers' efficiency. Through what? Through greater work satisfaction. So I'm going to give you an example. They basically had this experiment which depended on independent and dependent variables. So they fixed independent variables such as a constant worker or a constant computer, and they changed variables which were basically well-lit lighting to see if it increased productivity, also clean workstation, allowing employees to build and work in teams, having regular breaks. And of course I wouldn't be talking about it if it didn't work, and it did work. And they really realized that there are several variables that will actually increase the productivity and efficiency, and decrease the efficiency of your workers. So going to my next slide, it's the Douglas McGregor theory X and Y. And this is probably my favorite, my absolutely favorite theory. And the reason why is because they take two approaches. So they talk about two styles of management. The first one is the more passive, and the second one is the more authoritarian. So I'm gonna talk first about X, which is the more authoritarian. So basically, what he found was that um, Douglas McGregor and Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. These are the two studies that consisted. So the studies and observation, they led to a transition from the administrative and passive personal management approach to a more dynamic human resource management approach, which considered workers as a valuable resource. And the Theory X basically leads to that the managers tend to be more pessimistic views of their people and assume that they are naturally unmotivated and to dislike work. As a result, what do? They think that team members need to be prompted, rewarded, or punished constantly to make sure that they complete their tests is a more direct way, while the more participative way, which is theory Y, managers have a more optimistic, positive opinion of their people, and they use as a decentralized, may I use that term, participative management style. This encourages a more collaborative, trust-based relationship, not between the employees, but between the managers and their team members, which for myself is extremely more efficient than theory X. Why? Because I believe that having a good relationship with your employee sometimes will, not in the short term, but maybe in the long term, bring more trust, bring more productivity, efficiency. Sometimes they just look at their supervisor and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do well because I need to do well. I'm gonna do what I need to do. But if you have a relationship with them, it's more like they don't want to let you down. So I believe that they're actually gonna give 100% and they're gonna be more interested in the long term. So going to my next slide, which is human resource information system. We actually talked about this in this course, which made me really interested and intrigued. And basically, one of the definitions, more broad definitions, is the intersection between human resources and information technology. So basically, what this is it's, of course, I talked about the open-end software. That's how technology has a huge impact in this. So open-end software allowed many web developers to develop apps, which aids in the collecting big data, all of those issues. And with the HR activities can process, and processes can occur electronically. So basically, before, if you think about it, I would need to have a sign-in sheet. I would need to have a database of all my customers written in paper. I would need to have the phone of all my customers written in paper. Well, nowadays, I just have a massive database. I can also see potential customers, their numbers, to call them. Nowadays, with all this big data in Google, they can sell so much information about a potential customer. So you call them, you already know what they like, you already know what they want, and that's extremely rich inside the HR section. And it's way easier to exchange information between the employee and its supervisor. It's way easier to exchange information between the employee and its customer. It's way easier for the customer to reach the employee for any facts or any questions. And you can create profiles, of course, of your potential customers, of your existing customers, which makes it so much easier. Now I'm going to go to my conclusion slide, and going back to my thesis, yes, I do believe that industrial and technological advancements absolutely revolutionize in HR, not only all the theories I talked about, but also the HRIS, all the systems involved. Today everything is so quickly, not only talking about HR, but also talking about our personal lives. You can see how everything is so much easier, you can move so much quicker, know things so much faster. Web development allowed HR management to just operate more efficiently. And of course, HRIS, as I just talked, absolutely innovated the exchange of information, which is key for human resource management. Now this is my reference slide, everyone. These are the references which I took all my information from. And yes, that's about it, everyone. I'm really sorry about my voice, but it's very cold where I'm at right now and I'm a bit sick. But thank you very much and have a nice end of summer.